Set 5, the Disney lorcana Shimmering Skies, is just around the corner, and it will release at your friendly local game store on August 9th, 2024, and everywhere in mass retail on August 23rd, 2024. So, with all the legendaries finally revealed, I wanted to share my initial thoughts on them. I'm Lorcana Thanos, the Mad Titan of the Illuminary. Welcome back in Illuminaries, and today we are ranking every legendary in Shimmering Skies. Let's go. All right, so we are here with our tier list. Let's define the tiers and then we will get started. So, in the S tier top spot, we have meta defining. In the A tier slot, almost there. B tier slot, okay, but needs more. C tier spot, locals, kitchen table Orcana type cards. And the bottom tier is don't waste my time. So, remember these are my initial thoughts of looking at it. Ideally, I would like to have more testing done and all that fun stuff, but I wanted to share my initial thoughts on these. So let's dive right in. I think to set a precedent, let's start with Donald, and I'm gonna just put him somewhere, and I will bring the card up on the screen for each one, and we will have a discussion. So Donald Duck. So Donald is a 5 cost inkable Ruby Floodborn Hero Knight that is 3 strength, 6 willpower with a lore pip. He's just for 4, and he has 2 abilities. The first one being Humble Pie. When you play this character, if you use Shift to play him, each opponent loses 2 lore. So in a multiplayer setting, this is going to be very, very strong. And then his Raging Duck ability is while an opponent has 10 or more lore, this character gets +6 strength. That is a permanent effect as long as it meets the condition for the 10 or more lore, making Donald 9 strength. 9 strength is able to get over every location. It's able to get over basically every card in the game. And so, with how Ruby utilizes something like Flynn Rider Frenemy and other cards like that, I think you're going to be able to kind of get that, especially with how Ruby has access to a lot of cards that make your opponents lose war. I think this is something that is very strong in terms of a meta perspective. Where is he going to fit? The fact that he's inkable helps. Obviously, the whole Dies of Medusa thing applies here. That's going to apply to most cards in the game, honestly, though. I really love the artwork on him too. And yeah, Donald's really good. Until I have more testing, the safe bet is to put him in okay, but needs more. Um, but I think overall, I think I'm going to leave him right here in okay, but needs more, and then we can adjust that later as time goes on. Next up, let's go with Jafar. So we have Jafar, Tyrannical Hypnotist. He is an inkable 6 cost, 0 strength, 7 willpower with 2 lore pips. He has Challenger +7, which is insane, and then an Intimidating Glaze. Opposing characters with cost 4 or less can't challenge. So locks down, early game characters, and then, yeah, again having 7 with 7 willpower. This card's very strong. Of the 2 steel legendaries, initially, I do think I like Jafar a little bit more. We will talk about Arthur here in a minute. I think the art on Arthur's better, but we'll get to Arthur here in a minute. So yeah, Jafar is interesting. Challenger +7 is obviously very strong. Again, you can tell from the design space that there's definitely a power creep going into this block, which very, very much welcomed. The Challenger +7, very strong, if I didn't say that already. And then locking down weaker characters is very, very strong. I'm going to put Jafar. He's definitely at least here. I want to put him in meta defining, but I need to save that for other cards. I'm going to leave him in almost there. Also, when I read him with his Challenger +7 in order to heal him and all that fun stuff, my immediate thought went to Blue Steel, went to Sapphire Steel instead of ruby steel, amber steel, any order of sort of other combination. I think having Possible, and I mean, obviously you could heal him with like Rapunzel and all that if you went with Amber Steel, but I think Jafar has a lot of potential, so I'm gonna leave him almost there. I think potentially if someone finds a broken combo, he can definitely go in meta defining, but I want to save him here in almost there. Moving right along, let's go with sure. Let's go Amethyst, and we'll go with Camilo Madrigal, a inkable 6 cost storyborn ally in Madrigal, 3 strength, 7 willpower with a lore pip, and the ability is Imitate. Whenever this character quests, you gain lore equal to the lore value of a chosen other character of yours, and you return that character to your hand. So more of a more bouncing. Um, that's always good. This card has some sneaky potential. My immediate thought goes into a Blurple item deck. So Sapphire Amethyst, if you want to be technical about it. So you could like bounce a Tamatoa that you've really increased the lore value on. I thought that was interesting. Maybe even like a Bell that's got her lore value aspect of it. If you want to go like Ruby Sapphire, if you want to tech in like Brave Little Tailors, something along those lines, I think there's going to be some sneaky things you could do going on. Maybe if you want to go Amethyst Emerald, the believe is a 4 cost, the Flint Rider that has four. Sorry, the Flynn Rider that has four lore. I think that guy could be interesting, and then you could do that with this. And then if you're already going to be doing like a bounce package, utilizing Ursula Deceiver of All. Anyways, so I think this guy is interesting. I think this card is the epitome of okay, but needs more. It's probably going to fall down to locals kitchen table just off initial concept, but I'm going to leave Camilo here until I see further proof of concept. Let's go to their relative with Mirabelle. So we are looking at the first Amber Legendary in Mirabelle Madrigal, Family Gather, Inkable, 5 costs, Storyborn Hero Madrigal, 5/5, and 5 lore pips. So I wanted to nickname this card 5 cubed. So what she does is not without my family. You can't play this character unless you have 5 or more characters in play. Ideally, this is going to fit in a low to the ground aggro style deck. Maybe if you want to get crazy, all my broom people, brooms. So a amber amethyst broom deck. I think ideally they want you to play this with the whole magical deck, but this I do see this being more low to the ground, some kind of aggro based strategy in order to play her out, and then maybe utilize in combo with the Camilo that we just talked about and gain the lore that way. I'm gonna leave Mirabelle and locals kitchen table lorcana until we see more from her. All right, so Clarabelle is, of course, an Emerald, Inkable, 7 costs, 5 strength, 6 willpower. He's a Floodborn ally into lore pips, with the rough translation being shift 5 at the end of your turn. Choose an opponent if they have more cards in your hand, in their hand than you draw until you have as many. So the Bucky nerf will be in effect. I think Diablo won't see as much play, but I do think this is very much a card that Emerald needed. This card definitely belongs at least here. We have to see how much more discard is going to see play, ideally. If, big if, but if discard still continues to see as much play as it is, with the Bucky errata in effect, this card is meta defining. If discard falls down, it's here. So it's all kind of contingent on what happens in terms of where it's going to flow. obviously, once the Bucky errata is in effect. That's right around the corner, but I'm gonna put it here and just wait and see what happens. All right, so let's talk about Genie. Genie is non-inkable, a 7 cost, 5 strength, 5 willpower, and 2 4 pips. And Genie says, again, rough translation. Genie says, when this character is exerted, opposing characters do not ready at the start of their turn. So it is a lockdown effect. I think Genie has potential. Honestly, that seems to be the case for the Amethyst legendaries to set. Ideally, I've seen some people talk about this, and I think it's a pretty interesting concept. The idea is if you go Emerald Sapphire and you utilize the Hades from Ursul's Return, the 4-drop one, and then you go, there's a 2-drop Inkable Emerald Genie from the first chapter, and then there's a 4-drop non-inkable super rare from Into the Inklands, and you utilize both those genies along with the Hades, the deal maker guy, and then you can bring this guy out a turn, 2 turns early. Um, if you go the 4 cost, it'd be like, yeah, turn 5 by the time the Hades is dry. But that's a interesting combo. I have to try it out. I'm gonna put Genie in OK needs more. Just until I see. We'll rearrange them from left to right once we're done talking about it, everybody. All right, so let's go ahead and be fair to everyone, and let's go ahead and talk about Sapphire. We're gonna talk about Mufasa. So Mufasa is a non-inkable 8-cost Storyborn Mentor King that has 4 strength, 9 willpower, and 1, 2, 3, 4 lore pips. He has 2 abilities. His first one is a Delicate Balance. So it's a on-play effect. When you play this character, exert all of your ink, then return 2 cards at random from your inkwell to your hand. And then his secondary ability is everything the light touches. Whenever this character quests, ready all cards in your inkwell. On paper, this card is snapped as all get out. So the thing that one, thank God it's not inkable. This card would be borderline broken if it was inkable. The other thing too is that the first ability, I do like that it is at random in terms of choosing the cards from your inkwell, and it's a -2 in terms of cards from your inkwell. So obviously, Sapphire benefits obviously from the ramps. Fishbone, Greystone Dragon, One Jump Ahead, all that fun stuff. But I do think this card has a lot of potential. Sapphire got so much love this set. It's definitely one of the top contenders for the metagame. This card is kind of like these ones here. We're gonna go ahead and jump up here. Don't need to waste time with these bottom ones. In theory, this card is amazing. This card, in theory, should be meta defining. It depends how the meta breaks. It depends on what happens. And with that being said, um, it's better than Jafar. That much is certain. And yeah, it's better than it is better than Clarabelle. All right, let's move this process along a little bit. Let's go ahead and talk about Prince Naveen. So Naveen is, of course, in Amber. He's a non-inkable 4-cost that is a 3/3 with 2 lore pips, and he is a Storyborn hero and a prince with Singer 6. And he has an ability that's called It's Beautiful, no? When you play this character, you may, so you don't have to, play a song with cost 6 or less for free. Obviously, just to go ahead and talk about this before it comes up, yes, the intent is from your hand. It is obviously not from your discard, from your deck, yada yada. They mean play a card from your hand. So this can sing off base songs that aren't seen together. That can sing just about everything. And if you have the Atlantica location out, that'll increase him +1 to a 7. So if you go Amber Ruby, run the Atlantica location. Yes, this guy can sing. Be prepared. But that being said, even on his own, he's pretty good. Ideally, looking at him for Steel Song. I'm not 100% sure if you're going to run him. You already have a high inkable count in that deck, and I'm uncertain if you really want to increase it that more with 2 to 3 copies of this card. I definitely don't think he's a 4 of. If he was inkable, he'd be in the conversation of being a 3 or 4 of. Because ideally, Steel Song wants to save that slot for Rapunzel, get to with healing. But I definitely could see this being a 2 of, 3 of at most, if you really want to utilize that. But being able to play something for free, it's great for the whole new world decks if you want to go ahead and spin the wheel. So let's move on to King Arthur. I didn't rank him. I think Naveen is okay, needs more. And I am fine leaving him. Let's see. You don't restand people. And Naveen, free song. You're here. We'll leave him like that. Let's go. So Arthur. Okay. Arthur is a non-inkable 7 cost, Floodborn hero king, 3 string 6 willpower with 3 lore pips, shift for 5, and then knighted by the king. When you play this character, chosen character gets challenger +2 and resist +2 and can challenge ready characters this turn. As I said, art-wise compared to Jafar, he is superior. Love the willpower. Given something challenger +2 and resist +2, fantastic. My thing is, without again proper testing, I do think Arthur has potential. I'm definitely not going to sleep on this guy. I think this kid has a ton of potential. He became the King of England for a reason. But I think he's definitely not locals. Is it fair to put him up here? Just until I see more, I'll leave him right here in the middle on okay, but needs more. So from there, let's go ahead and talk about Queen Anna. So let's wrap up Emerald. Anna is a 3 cost non-inkable Storyborn hero queen that has 2 strength, 3 willpower, and 2 lore pips. So she is pretty easy to remove, especially with how prevalent I think Steel is going to be. But she has a really, really cool ability. I really like this card. So it's called Royal Resolution. When you play this character, you may pay 2 ink to choose one of 3 effects. You either have each opponent choose and discard a card, so very Emerald. Chosen character gets +2 strength this turn, so attack boost or challenging, pretty good. Or you banish chosen damaged character. And if you look at the design for Shimmering Skies for Emerald, especially a Emerald Steel deck with like all the Robin Hood stuff, there's a lot of a damage chosen character removal banish type thing going on, right? I think this card is amazing, and I am gonna go ahead and put her right here next to Clarabelle. In fact, let's go ahead and clear this out a little bit and shift it just like that. I think Ana is meta defining. Ana is very good, and we'll see competitive play at the DLCs, which means we go to. Let's go Merlin. Yep, Merlin's fine. All right, so Merlin got revealed pretty early. He's a 6 cost non-inkable Floodborn Mentor Sorcerer that is 3 strength, 7 willpower, and 2 lore pips, just for 5. And Overdeveloped Brain is the effect name. That when you play this character, if you use Shift to play him, you may search your deck for any card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle your deck. This card is amazing. Merlin got some support too. There's other Merlins you can run. If you go anything Sapphire, if you go Blue Steel, you can obviously search Wheels. Any it's item-based decks, obviously you're going to look for I don't know. You can search for Lucky Dime. You can search for Bell. You can look for Tamatoa. You can look for this Mufasa that we just talked about. If you're going Ruby Sapphire, you could also, if you need to way to clear the board, you can look for Be Prepared. Being able to find anything is so absurd. This card has so much potential, and it's the only ink that's going to get this. I'll put him up here, and I'll put him right above Anna. I think both of Sapphire's legendaries are game breaking. And that being said, that leaves Robin Hood. If you guys know and you've watched my channel before, you know I am a massive fan of Robin Hood. I have a Robin Hood deck profile of the champion of Sherwood. Click the card up here to check that video out. Pause that one, finish this one, then go watch that. And with the love that Robin Hood got in Shimmering Skies, I will be doing an updated Robin Hood thematic deck profile. But to round it out, let's talk about the champion of Sherwood. The Robin Hood Sharpshooter, non-inkable, 4-cost ruby legendary that is a storyborn hero, 1 strength, 4 willpower, and 2 lore pips. The ability, the greatest performance. Whenever this character quests, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal an action card with cost 6 or less. Play it for free, then put the rest in your discard. Obviously, with it being an action, that's actions or songs, so there's some potentiality there. The 1 strength is a bit of a bummer, and the fact that it is a questing effect instead of a on-play effect does hurt it a little bit. With the 4 willpower, it will stick around for a little bit. The 2 lore is obviously good. I love the art on it. Unfortunately, it's non-inkable and it is very weak. I hate to do it to my guy here, but I'm gonna leave him in just because I love Robin Hood. I'm gonna put him in okay, but needs more, and let's see if I want to shift anything around. No, I think that's fine. All right, so that is how we have everything ranked. So starting from the bottom up, nothing in Don't Waste My Time this set. Fantastic. Thank you, Ravensburger. Locals, Kitchen Table, Lorcana, we have Mirabelle. Moving up a tier to okay, but needs more. Starting from the bottom, Robin Hood, Camilo, Prince Naveen, Arthur, Genie, and Donald Duck. In the A tier at almost there, Jafar, and topping the list is Clarabelle, and in meta defining, Queen Anna, Merlin, and Mufasa. Alright, so there you have it. Those are my initial thoughts on every legendary in Shimmering Skies and where I would rank them at this current point in time. Be sure to let me know down below what you thought and where you might adjust them. The conversation is always part of it, so be sure to leave that comment. As always, be sure to give me one of these bad boys. They help the channel grow and the YouTube algorithm do what it does best. As always, if you like the content and you want to see more, be sure to smash that subscribe button and click the bell so you get notified when I upload new videos every Tuesday and Friday. And you can follow me on the artist formerly known as Twitter on X at lorcana Thanos. Remember, the hardest choices require the strongest wills. Bye.